let's try that.
Val here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to do a couple of different DIYs today. I went to the Dollar Tree and found some cute little goodies and decided I wanted to make a couple of DIYs and share them with you. So I hope you enjoy them, and let's get right into them. The first one that we're going to do actually is we're going to use picture frames to make ourselves a little terrarium, which I'm super excited about. I love plants. I have so many live plants in the house all over, and once we're done we'll see if maybe making a larger one would work for real plants, but for today we're going to be using artificial leaves and foliage and such that I got from the Dollar Tree, and picture frames. So right now I have 6 picture frames, and we're just going to kind of see how that goes. We're going to see where it takes us. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're going to start off by unpacking all of our frames and removing the backing and the inside cardboard, which we don't need. Then I laid down all of my frames into the shape that I wanted to get and started hot gluing the sides together. Be careful if your hot glue gun is as hot as mine, be very careful. This one here, I'm doing both sides at once, so I applied a generous amount of the hot glue and held it into place, first securing one side and then making sure the other side was where I wanted it to be. Alright, really making sure that everything is secure and that the glue has dried, and now we have our 4 sides. Next, we're going to take the 2 last frames that we're going to use for our roof just to get an idea of how we want it to land. You're also going to need 2 dowels. Now I just used the bottom of these foam brushes because I didn't have any dowels and I did not like these foam brushes. I painted them black to match the frames, and now I'm just going to sand them down a little bit on about a 45-degree angle so that I can get a little bit of a notch on the side of my dowel here. It's not much guys, it's just a little bit. This is just going to help it to stay with the proper angle along so we can glue it better. Now for the hinge, what I did guys is I just used a scrap piece of black fabric that I had. It was about 3/4 of an inch. I put some hot glue on my frame and then attached the piece of fabric along so that it was flush to the bottom side. Cut off the excess, and then just make sure that it's all lined up properly for you to have to glue it down so that it will open up properly. And then I glued it to my other frame, and this is allowing me to have a hinge that will open. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do here guys is I'm just going to use a little bit of masking tape to hold it in place while I glue my support beams on. Hot glue on the bottom and the top. And here we want to make sure that our 45-degree angle is sitting on the side where our frame is that will be in place permanently. So again, we hot glue on the bottom and the top, making sure that it stays nice and sturdy. Now we're going to go ahead and fill in all of this area here for our permanent window. Because I didn't like how it looked very much, I'm also adding more hot glue, and I'm going to fill it in with some of this nice sheet moss that I have here. It makes a little bit of a mess, but it looks pretty. And we're going to do the other side so that it matches as well. And now for the fun part guys, let's decorate. So I've just got a bunch of these different type of foliage that I got from the Dollar Tree, just cutting them into some more manageable smaller pieces, and I'm just kind of laying them down. You could always put a piece of foam in here, but since I plan to be changing it around and moving it quite a bit, I didn't want to glue anything down. Add a little tea light in here. I had 2, but the other one wasn't working. Now we've got a cute little air plant that we can add in there as well. Voila! What a cute little project, guys. I absolutely love how this turned out. It is super sweet. I actually want to make more. Alright guys, for our next craft, we're going to need a small canvas from the dollar store. This is a 4x6. We're going to remove all of these staples here till we have nothing but the frame. And now I'm going to use tongue depressors to create the back of my canvas. I am laying them out so that I know how many I need. And then afterwards, we're going to hot glue the entire thing and lay them all down side by side. Now one of the sides is too long, and all we're going to do is run an X-Acto knife along that on a surface that is safe so that we can cut off any of the excess. Alright, so one of my frames I am going to finish with a wood stain, and the other one I am going to do in a chalk paint, just so I can get two different ideas of what it'll look like, two different designs. We're going to start off with the stain, and we're going to generously apply the stain to our frame, wiping off any excess. I found that one coat was enough, but if you wanted it darker, you could always add a second coat after it has dried. Next, we're going to go with the chalk paint on our second frame. I ended up doing 2 coats of the chalk paint, letting them dry in between each coat, and that was enough for me. You could always go with just 1 if you want. You could go with 3 coats, whatever you feel you need. Now let these dry completely, and then we can decorate. We're just going to grab a bunch of different leaves that we've got and just start placing them until we are satisfied with them. Once we like where they are, then we can go ahead and hot glue them into place. We're not making anything too complicated here, guys. Just go with what you've got and what feels right. I like to add a little bit of sphagnum moss in there. I found it gave it a little bit of depth, and I also like the contrast in textures. Alright, last step guys, we're going to turn our pictures over, and we're just going to add a small piece of burlap or twine to the back of it and hot glue it into place. And this is just going to be so that we can hang our pictures up on the wall. And that's just a very simple way of doing that. I absolutely love how these turned out, and you could use these for so many different ideas. Alright, so the next little project I'd like to do is kind of an upcycle, because I bought one part and I had the other. So this is just a cute little basket that I've had kicking around. I never really know where to put it because I don't overly love the pattern on it, but I was thinking I saw this at the dollar store and I fell in love with it. It's like a super chunky, thick, soft wool. And my daughter's bedroom is actually all Descendants EB colors. So this is gonna match really nicely. So we're gonna take this chunky yarn and we're going to hot glue it around the entire thing. And we're gonna take a look and see what it turns out like. I think it's gonna look really cute. So let's try it out. Well everybody, that is it. We are all done for our dollar store DIY crafts for the day. I hope that you guys enjoyed these. I had a lot of fun making them. If you guys try any of them out, please send me a picture in the comments. I would love to see if you guys try any of these out. Let me know which one was your favorite. And if you haven't, please subscribe, share the videos if you think anybody would like them. And thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!